companies are really annoying. They're really annoying because they make the best decision for them, not for us. And Nintendo absolutely made the right decision. I just kind of hate it. So good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. Nintendo posted a whole bunch of information, and they made the right call. I think it's undeniable at this point, and despite a lot of naysayers and despite a lot of videos to the contrary over the last year, I'd say, Nintendo really did win out and really did make the right choice. So let me know in the comments down below what you think, and if you agree that, like, yeah, this is in the company's best interest, but it's kind of a bummer in a way for fans. So let's get through some of the basics, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes here. Zelda sold over 18 million copies. Tears of the Kingdom is pushing 20 million units already, 18.51 million units from its release to June 30th. So that's not even including July or the few days of August we have thus far. That's just including basically May and June, a month and a half. The thing absolutely wrecked, as we knew it would, but maybe in a way better than anyone expected. All right, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are up to 22.66 million units. Now that's a slowdown despite the impressive number, and let me give you some context here. This puts Pokemon Scarlet and Violet right behind Gold and Silver in the number 4 slot of best Pokemon sellers of all time. They'll soon pass Gold and Silver to be number 3, and Sword and Shield will be passed eventually. All right, Sword and Shield are at 25.92 million, just shy of 26, and Scarlet and Violet are almost at 23, so they will get there and they will usurp the last gen. Now, what's interesting here, though, is that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet moved 20 million copies in the first 6 weeks. So that means after those first 6 weeks, it's only been 2.6 million copies since. And I have to say that I think so much of this, if not all of the slowdown, is due to the bad performance. I think word of mouth on the performance really just pushed the brakes on Scarlet and Violet from being an absolute giga seller. Scarlet and Violet, based on its open world status, its charming aesthetic, and its interesting way of integrating new mechanics and a familiar feeling Pokemon, could have been one of those Animal Crossing type sellers for Nintendo. Instead, it got absolutely stopped in its tracks thanks to poor performance and Nintendo's unwillingness to ever correct those issues. Now, the DLC will definitely see a bump for Scarlet and Violet, but nothing to the caliber of Animal Crossing and or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Still a successful game, still a very fun game, I think, but this does show that, in this case, Nintendo made the wrong choice. They really should have worked to fix the performance issues ASAP. But where they made the right choice was with their decision to hold off on a new console. A lot of you have been hearing these rumors and Switch Pro talk for years now, and I've been talking about it a lot lately. Nintendo easily could have jumped into the Switch 2 generation later this year, or early next year. But now we know, thanks to VGC and Eurogamer and Nate Drake and MVG, that late 2024 is where we're going to be. And it seems, while not confirmed, very likely. And people were saying Nintendo needs a new console because their sales are slowing down, their system is slowing down, it's getting beaten out by this, it's getting beaten out by that, it's not going to make it through another year. And Nintendo made the absolute right call because it did. They had a record-setting quarter, shipping more Nintendo Switch this past year than they did the year before. They absolutely wrecked where they were last year in comparison to this year. It put them up by about 13.9% year-on-year in hardware and 26.1% year-on-year in software. That means they had huge increases in both hardware sales and software sales, and they moved 3.91 million more Switch in the past quarter, making us super close to 130 mil. We're at 129 change, and again, this is huge success. This is a 7th-year console outperforming its past year. And last year was a good year. We had Pokemon. We had a lot of big things that could have caused Nintendo to be unable to overtake last year, and yet they did. Now, most of this is owed to Tears of the Kingdom and Nintendo's conviction that that game would be such a strong seller and such a absolute mega hit, and it is. But it also is due to the fact that Nintendo has set up a very strong lineup. We're not done just because Tears of the Kingdom has pushed its 18.51 million units. No, we still have a double dose of Mario with Super Mario RPG and with Super Mario Bros. Wonder. We have a new WarioWare. We have a Detective Pikachu, and possibly more Pokemon coming at the heavily rumored and leaked Pokemon Presents next week. Nintendo has set themselves up to have a stellar 7th year, and I think Mario Wonder will move even more Switch consoles in the 4th quarter to help keep this year ahead of 2022, which is so impressive because, again, don't you remember, there was a time where a lot of YouTubers were chirping about Switch is dying, it's over, the sales are going down, it's dead in the water. Nintendo has managed to have a second wave, really a 7th wave, and their decision to not rush out a new console is benefiting them tremendously. Now, I kind of hate it because I'm ready for more power. I'm ready for a new Switch. I'm ready for better graphics. I'm ready for more third-party support because they actually can port their games over with ease. I'm ready for all of that, but Nintendo knows it's better to squeeze as much out of this gen as possible. And perhaps it's better for us in the long run. Console transition is something Nintendo has struggled with the last few generations. The Switch was kind of an anomaly after Wii and Wii U. But by building up the Switch install base as large as humanly possible, and by allowing time to pass, so maybe you can get that price of Switch 2 just a little bit lower at launch, I really do think this is ultimately the best move Nintendo can make. I wish the Switch 2 was out this year, I wish it was out ASAP, but I see how this is beneficial for Nintendo. It boosts their profits. They don't have to make any new hardware. They don't have to take any losses right now. They can just go out there, pump software, pump OLEDs, put out special editions, and I guarantee we'll have more special editions next year, and they can just make a bunch of profit as they sit and cook on their new system. This allows them, like I said, to potentially bring the price down, as well as prepare an even more stellar launch lineup. We could have Metroid Prime 4 and a new 3D Mario. Heck, there is a chance we have a Mario Kart around launch. Mario Kart 8 will end its waves in 2023, and if there's a full year between the time that happens and the next Switch launches in November-ish 2024, a new Mario Kart could be ready. And this extra time allows Nintendo to really build up its software lineup, allows them to build up games in the hopper and have a very consistent release pacing, just like they did to help buoy the Switch in its first year back in 2017. Now, it's incredibly impressive that in a 7th year, a system is putting out incredible games and seeing growth. We're used to good games coming out as consoles age, but a lot of times they lose priority, and they definitely lose shelf space and consumer awareness. Nintendo, though, is bucking the trend completely. In fact, they are not slowing down. They are doing a real solid by us and putting a fantastic year of games and a huge slate with reliable, regular, and really exciting releases. I have no doubt that 2024 will be the same because the Switch is so profitable, the Switch is so prevalent, the Switch is so prolific. It only makes sense to put out good games. We're going to be getting our Donkey Kong game. We're going to be getting another Fire Emblem game. We're getting our Luigi's Mansion, our Princess Peach. We're going to get our Metroid Prime 4. And you're going to say, wow, how could a system in its 8th year still put out bangers and still be growing? And it's because Nintendo somehow has navigated this generation with ease. Yeah, there's been some missteps here or there, but the way that they paced their releases, the way that they scheduled their yearly calendars, and the way they had conviction and trust in themselves to release an OLED and delay a Switch 2 until it was absolutely necessary and maybe even absolutely the perfect spot, Nintendo has found success in year 7, beating out the last year, seeing growth, and seeing incredible numbers. They'll probably never catch the DS at 150 million units, but 130 is nothing to scoff at, and is one heck of a comeback for a Nintendo system that sold 13 million last time around. The Nintendo Switch is now officially 10 times the success that the Wii U is, and that is remarkable as all heck. Let me know if you think Nintendo made the right call, and if you're bummed about it, or if you're happy about it. If you're excited for another year where you don't have to buy a $400 system, let me know in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. SwitchForce out.